Hey YouTube, what is going on? Carter here. Got another video for you. This is on the Kizer Kane. Now this is my first Kizer knife ever, so I wanted to do a full unboxing, give you an idea of what the presentation's like, what the packaging is like when you get one of these knives, what you're going to see, because it's actually pretty cool. But I have taken this knife out. I have looked at it, I have played with it quite extensively. I have not officially carried it yet, so this is kind of a first impressions type video, I guess you would say. First off, you get this nice presentation box here with the new Kizer logo. Pretty cool, especially if you like good presentation stuff. Some people do not. Some people think it's a waste of money. Some people love it. But this one is pretty extravagant. I would say kind of overkill for the knife you're getting, but that's just my opinion. So you get this box with the nice emblem on there, open it up, and then you get a baggie with cool Digicam camo on here with the Kizer logo as well. Now don't get me wrong, this is an awesome bag. It's actually really well done. Look at this oversized doohickey, whatever you call it, the zipper that you actually undo it with. Looks really nice, very nice. Like I said, I personally feel it's overkill for the knife you're getting, but that's just my opinion. Then inside, actually, this is tucked in one of these sleeves here. You actually get the knife in another baggie, plastic baggie, which you are typically going to see with knives. And then here you go, the knife itself. This is the newly released Kizer Kane. It is designed by Matt Degnan, as you can see right there. It's really cool. I picked this one as my first Ryata knife just due to the blade shape and the overall size. I gravitate towards larger size knives, although that is kind of changing now, believe it or not. But I love this harpoon shaped blade right here. I think it's really cool. But let's get some specs out of the way so you know what you're dealing with. This is a pretty large knife. It is a 3 3/4 inch blade. 9 1/4 inches overall, so pretty large. Look at the blade stock on this thing. That is thick. And as you would expect with a full titanium handled flipper, you're going to get a lot of weight on this thing. One of the first things I noticed was the weight. Comes in at 7.2 ounces, so pretty heavy. However, it is very well balanced with that really thick blade stock and the wide blade profile. And that's really the thing that bugs me the most. Isn't so much overall weight, it's balance. When the handle is overly heavy or the blade is overly heavy compared to the handle, that's what really bugs me. When something is balanced and the weight feels good, I'm generally okay with it, even if it is heavy. So what are we looking at here? We are looking at a collaboration with a Chinese knife company called Kizer. Where this company comes from, I do not know. If they have been involved in making clones, I do not know. If they have been involved in manufacturing for other companies like Boker, I do not know. However, I have my suspicions. This scales here, the slabs, titanium slabs, are very similar to what you will see on the Boker Epicenter collaboration that was done. Very similar in the way it's done and handled. Looks very close. So it does make me wonder if possibly this company did some manufacturing for Boker, but I cannot confirm nor deny that because I don't know if that's true. So full titanium handles, 3D sculpted. Now, whether these are sculpted by hand, machine, or cast, I do not know. They are absolutely flawless, though. This does not look like a handmade knife at all. I've heard some people talk about these and say that there's handwork done. You know, the machining is done at first, and then there's a lot of handwork done in the shaping of these slabs here. However, I do not see a human hand at all in this. It is just too perfect. My camera's not going to pick it up, but there is kind of a flat piece right here. And you can see it remains the same thickness all the way down. Generally, human hands cannot do that kind of precision. So I don't know how these were made, but they do look pretty good. Bead blasted. As you can see right here, not sandblasted, which actually I would prefer, but bead blasted. Blade steel, S35 VN steel made here in America, shipped overseas and used to make this knife. Hollow ground blade, clip point, with the cool harpoon on the top, which is what really drew me to it. Stonewash finish, you can see right there, just the whole thing is stonewashed. Blade grinds are done really well. It was sharp out of the box. Not quite hair shaving sharp, but pretty close. Very adequate, to say the least. Very nice, even secondary bevel. Very consistent on both sides. So all the machining is very well done on this. You can see how thick this S35 VN steel is right there, how thick that tip is as well. That is a big chunk of steel. You can see the designer's name right there, Matt Degnan, and he is relatively new in the knife world. He hasn't done a ton. So Kizer kind of reached out to somewhat of an unknown knife designer to do this collaboration, and I think that's really cool to kind of give him a shot at getting his designs and his name out there. So that's very cool. This is a production version of his Kane XL knife. It's similar, but by no means is this a production copy of his knife. This is quite a bit different. His knife doesn't have this kind of 3D machining here. He doesn't really seem to do the anodizing accents, and he likes to have pretty heavy grind lines. He doesn't do kind of the cleaner stonewash type look. But the overall profile, the blade shape, the overall look, silhouette of the knife is very Matt Degnan if you look it up. One of the features that this knife has that I really, really like is ceramic detent balls, or rather ceramic balls in general. There's one in the detent, so that's a ceramic ball. It's not stainless steel. And then I believe the bearing system in the pivot. This does have a bearing system. You can see how smooth that is, and this isn't even really fully broken in yet. I've only been playing with this a little bit tonight, so it will get smoother as everything kind of wears in and meshes together. I believe that those are ceramic as well, and the point with the ceramic is ceramic's hard. One of the problems with detent balls is after time it gets a flat spot worn in the top and it stops performing the way it performed when you first assembled the knife. So ceramic detent balls help to prevent that, because ceramic is very, very, very hard. As you will know if you've ever had a ceramic bladed knife. Very hard. Brittle, but very, very hard. So that's cool that that is incorporated in this particular knife. We have a stainless steel insert that has been put in here. You can see that with the two screws right here. It also acts as an overtravel, so it has a piece that goes underneath the frame to prevent you from extending this too far and messing up the pressure. We have a titanium clip that's anodized blue, and I can only assume that this is titanium hardware since it's anodized blue. This is non-magnetic, including the standoffs here. None of this is magnetic. I assume it's titanium. This did get a magnetic reed. Magnet did stick to this, but I assume it's just because of probably the actual post that goes through is probably steel, and this is probably titanium. So that is pretty cool. You can see it is anodized blue. The clip is blue, as I mentioned before, kind of ties everything together. So very, very nice. You're getting a ton of features in this knife. Retail on this is about $200. It is a Chinese-made knife, but you do have American-made steel and an American designer behind this. So as far as value goes, if you're wanting a bearing large flipper, or rather a large flipper with a bearing system in the pivot and kind of all the bells and whistles of modern flipper knives, you're not going to get a better deal than $200 for this. So really, really good. Ergonomics are fine. If you can get both your fingers kind of in this choil, it feels good. Mine are a little too fat, and I kind of poke up on this piece right here a little bit. It's not too bad, though. It's still very, very comfortable. Not really any jimping or anything to speak of, but you do have this choil here with the flipper. So the idea of, you're not gonna slide up on this blade, and really all this will do is kind of give you control of the blade if you're doing any cutting and things like that. This is tip up, right hand, carry only. You can see the centering is absolutely perfect. Lockup is solid. There's no slop in the closed detent position. The detent I mean, it is hard not to flip this. See, I'm trying to not flip this knife. There we go. It's harder to not flip this knife than it is to flip it. So the engineering in terms of the detent strength and the bearings and everything is absolutely spot on with this knife. Overall, it has a very, very clean look. It's somewhat plain. One of the reasons why I went with this, as I mentioned before, this blade, because it gives it a little style, it gives it a little edge. A lot of their other designs are even plainer than this. They kind of just have regular blades, nothing too funky. They do a lot of knives with this style, these same exact titanium slabs with the blue anodization. Both the collaborations with Laconico as well as a few of their other designers are very similar to this in general appearance, but this one had this really cool spear point clip blade that I absolutely love. So this is the one I went for. Really good. So if you kind of like this cleaner kind of plain type look, this is absolutely down your alley, especially with the price point on this. Carrying in your pocket, you're going to get quite a bit poking out, so that's up to you if you like that or don't like that. Like I said, it is tip up right hand carry only, so sorry for you lefties there. The only deployment method is the flipper, which it does very well. You have a choil up here, kind of sketchy. You do ride up on that blade, almost ready to get nicked, but you can get a pretty good grip on it with that choil. I'm not too much of a, I don't really need that. I'm fine with this grip right here. So those are all the good things about this knife. You know, this is one of those knives where on paper, it looks amazing. What you're getting for the money, everything, the engineering, everything is done spot on. However, there is just something about this knife that I just don't absolutely love. I think maybe it is these slabs. It just reminds me of some of these Bokers that I've had troubles with, possibly. I'm not quite sure. The anodizing here is a little much for me. That's really bright blue. Kind of, I don't know. Kind of upsetting, I guess, to me. But the main thing, well, I guess maybe not the main thing, but it does have a radiused lock face, which I found very strange with having all the modern features that everybody's clamored for years. They went with a radius lock face, which was one of the first things to kind of be brought to attention, to knife makers' attentions, that we don't like radius lock faces. I've talked at length in the past about the pros and cons of it, because there are pros and cons, but generally the consensus is we don't like radius lock faces. And of course I'm talking about right here. This is a very slight radius. It's not an extreme radius, but it is radius nonetheless. It's not a straight cut lock face. And this does have the lock bar insert, so in theory it's not really going to move in very much. You're not going to start hitting that slope and have it start slipping. Although I can get a very minute amount of slip if I really muscle it. And I'm assuming it's because of that radius lock face. So it is kind of strange that they went with the ceramic bearings and the lock bar insert and everything that everybody loves, but the lock face is radius, which is kind of strange. The other thing on this is the finish. Fit on this is absolutely perfect. But the finish, it did have some scuffs on the tie. This is not for me carrying it. Like I said, I have not carried this knife. I've only played with it on the couch and flipped it and checked it out. You can see some scuffs there. There's some scuffs or parts that just didn't anodize on that pivot on the back here. And then we've got a little ding in the titanium right there. You can see right there. I mean, nothing extreme. For the price point of this knife, you really can't complain, but it is what it is. You are going to probably get quite a bit of that kind of stuff, just general scuffage. And, keeping this unscuffed is very difficult, guys. Sandblasted titanium, titanium soft, and then sandblasting just kind of makes a very prone surface for scratches and scuffs and snail trails and things like that. So it's very difficult to keep that clean, but keep that in mind if you want to get one of these, that you may come across that. You'll probably just have to look past it because it's the nature of the beast. This is a lower priced kind of knife with all the features. However, I will have to side with some people and say I would rather forego some of this extra stuff it comes with, as nice as it is, and just either lower the price point a little bit more or clean up some of these slight surface things, get rid of this radius lock face, things of that nature. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, like my video, give me a subscribe. Let me know how your day is, and what do you think of this knife? Do you like it? I love that blade shape. That thing is sweet. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you not like it? Let me know. All right, guys, take it easy. I'm out of here.